Iran just shocked the world with what it is building. Despite decades of sanctions, isolation, and relentless pressure from the world, Iran is still pulling off projects that sound impossible. Moving the ocean into the desert, stretching gas pipelines across borders, raising massive dams, building nuclear power plants, expanding huge underground metro systems, and producing more than 1 million vehicles a year. Yet, most of the world has no idea any of this exists. This is a nation reshaping itself under constant pressure, building faster, bigger, and more aggressively than anyone expected. And the deeper we go, the more insane it gets. Number 13. Iran Mall, the world's largest mall. The world's largest shopping mall is not in Dubai. It is not sitting beside some famous American skyline. It stands beside Chitgar Lake in western Tehran, in a country that many people only hear about due to political tensions. Iran Mall covers about 21 million square feet across 7 floors. More than 25,000 workers and over 1,200 contractors helped bring it to life. During construction, crews poured concrete non-stop for 5 days, 4 hours, and 11 minutes, setting a world record. Then you step inside, and the whole idea of a mall starts to disappear. There are hundreds of shops and restaurants, a large cinema complex, an Olympic-style ice rink, sports courts, a theater hall, a convention center, hotel space, gardens, fountains, and long indoor streets that feel like they belong in a private city. This is not the kind of place where people only come to buy clothes and leave. It was built to hold people for hours, maybe an entire day, with shopping, food, sport, culture, and entertainment all packed under one roof. The most surprising parts are the ones that feel deeply Iranian. The traditional bazaar inside the mall was shaped by the old markets of cities like Isfahan and Shiraz. Instead of plain glass corridors, visitors move through arches, domes, patterned ceilings, carved details, and spaces that borrow from centuries of Persian design. The Jandashapur Library adds another shock. Inside a shopping mall, Iran placed a grand library with more than 45,000 books, manuscripts, and documents. A few steps away, the mirror hall brings in the dazzling mirrorwork Iran is famous for, with tiny reflective pieces arranged so the whole room seems to glow. There are also indoor gardens, a mosque, a musical fountain, and open public spaces that make the building feel larger than its stores. Number 12, Tabiat Bridge, the bridge that became a park in the sky. In northern Tehran, 2 green parks sit on opposite sides of a busy highway. Between them runs Moghaddas Highway, a road full of traffic and noise. Most cities would solve that problem with a plain pedestrian bridge. Iran built something people now visit even when they are not trying to cross the road. It is called Tabiat Bridge. The idea came from Layla Aragian, a young Iranian architect who was only 26 when she designed it. This was her first major architectural project, but it did not look like a beginner's work. Her idea was simple and bold. A bridge should not only move people, it should become a place where people want to stay. It is about 886 feet long, but it does not run in one boring straight line. It curves gently across the highway, so the view changes as people walk. The path opens into wider areas, then narrows again, making the whole crossing feel more like a walk through a park than a trip over traffic. 3 large tree-like columns hold it up, with branches spreading outward into the steel frame. The structure uses about 2,200 US tons of steel, but the design makes it feel lighter than it sounds. From below, it looks like a giant steel tree has grown over the road. From above, it becomes a raised public space with walking paths, seating areas, cafes, and open views across Tehran. In 2016, Tabiat Bridge won the Aga Khan Award for Architecture, one of the most respected architecture prizes in the world. Number 11. Bushehr Nuclear Power Plant, the reactor Iran refused to abandon. The Bushehr nuclear power plant survived a revolution, a war, bomb damage, sanctions, delays, and decades of pressure. Most countries would have walked away from a project that messy. Iran kept coming back to it. The plant sits on Iran's coast beside the Persian Gulf, near the city of Bushehr. Work began in the 1970s with German involvement, at a time when Iran wanted nuclear power to become part of its future energy system. Then the Iranian Revolution changed everything. The German builders left, the project stalled, and what was supposed to be a modern power plant became a half-finished structure by the sea. Then came the Iran-Iraq War. The Bushehr site was hit during the fighting, leaving parts of the plant damaged and the future of the project even more uncertain. For years, it stood as a symbol of something Iran had started but could not finish, a nuclear power station that needed foreign skill, foreign parts, and a level of trust the country no longer had. Iran still refused to abandon it. In the 1990s, Russia stepped in to help complete the reactor. The work was slow, difficult, and watched closely by the world. Nuclear power is never treated like normal construction, and in Iran's case, every step carried political weight. But after decades of stops and restarts, Bushehr finally became Iran's first commercial nuclear power plant. Bushehr Unit 1 now produces about 1,000 megawatts of electricity for Iran's national grid. That power helps feed homes, industries, and cities in a country where demand keeps rising. But Bushehr's location near the Persian Gulf adds another layer of risk, because any serious accident or attack would not be only an Iranian problem. Iran has also pushed for more nuclear power, including additional units at Bushehr and a long-term goal of reaching 20,000 megawatts of nuclear capacity by 2041. Number 10, Trans-Iranian Railway, the track that cut across a country. Long before Iran built giant malls and nuclear plants, it forced a railway across some of the hardest land in the country. The Trans-Iranian Railway was not a simple track laid across flat ground. It ran from the Persian Gulf toward the Caspian Sea, crossing mountains, valleys, rivers, forests, dry plains, and steep passes that looked almost impossible for trains. Construction began in 1927 and finished in 1938. The route stretched about 866 miles, linking southern Iran to the north through the heart of the country. The difficulty of the route is what makes it so impressive. Workers had to cut through rock, build across deep valleys, and twist the track through mountain slopes where a straight line would never work. The railway needed 174 large bridges, 186 small bridges, and 224 tunnels. 11 of those were spiral tunnels, where the track curves through the mountain so trains can climb or descend safely without facing a deadly steep slope. One of the most famous points on the route is Karkheh Bridge in the Alborz Mountains. It carries the railway high across a mountain valley, with an arch that makes the train look like it is crossing open air. Then history gave the railway a bigger role. During World War II, Iran became part of the Persian Corridor, a supply route used to move goods toward the Soviet Union. A railway built for Iran suddenly became part of a global war effort. Today, the Trans-Iranian Railway is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 9, Tehran Metro Network, the underground city beneath Iran's capital. Above ground, Tehran is loud, crowded, and always moving. But under all that noise, Iran built another Tehran. The Tehran Metro is the largest metro system in the Middle East. It runs for about 193 miles and has more than 160 stations. Every day, millions of passengers move through it, not as tourists, but as workers, students, families, and travelers who depend on it to survive the city. While traffic slows the streets above, whole crowds are already moving underground. This is not a small subway line built only for the center of town. The network reaches across Tehran and stretches out toward nearby areas like Karaj. Some lines cut through the heart of the capital. Others carry people towards suburbs, terminals, and the airport. The system keeps expanding because Tehran is too large and too crowded to depend only on roads. Inside, the stations do not feel like dark tunnels forgotten under the city. Many are wide, bright, and busy, with long escalators, tiled walls, clean platforms, ticket gates, signs, and trains pulling in. The metro also has details that make it clearly Iranian. Some stations use Persian patterns, high ceilings, decorative walls, and wide open spaces that feel closer to public halls than simple train stops. What makes this even more surprising is how much of it has continued under heavy pressure. Sanctions do not only hit oil and banks, they also make it harder to buy parts, trains, equipment, and modern systems. But Iran kept building, repairing, and expanding. In 2024, a 7-car Iranian-made metro train entered passenger service in Tehran after passing safety tests. Number 8. Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline. The pipeline waiting at the border. On one side of the border, Iran has some of the largest gas reserves on Earth. On the other side, Pakistan has spent years struggling with energy shortages, power cuts, and rising fuel needs. Between them is a pipeline project meant to carry gas from Iran's South Pars field into Pakistan for homes, factories, and power plants. The project is called the Iran-Pakistan Gas Pipeline, and it is also known as the Peace Pipeline. The agreement was signed in 2010, with a plan to supply Pakistan for 25 years. The full route was designed to stretch about 1,180 miles, with roughly 715 miles inside Iran and about 485 miles inside Pakistan. The pipeline was planned to deliver about 750 million to 1 billion cubic feet of natural gas every day. That is the kind of fuel that can help cook meals, keep factories running, feed power stations, and reduce the blackouts that have hurt Pakistan's economy for years. Iran had the strongest reason to push ahead. The gas would come from South Pars, the giant field Iran shares with Qatar in the Persian Gulf. That field is one of the biggest energy prizes on the planet, and Iran wanted to turn part of it into regional influence. Instead of leaving the gas trapped underground or using it only at home, Iran planned to push it across the border into a country that badly needed it. The strange part is where the project got stuck. Iran built much of its side and brought the project close to the border. Pakistan's side remained delayed for years. The problem was not only steel, digging, or construction. The bigger problem was pressure. Because of sanctions on Iran, Pakistan faced the risk of punishment if it moved forward too openly. That left the project hanging in a painful place, a pipeline waiting at the border. Number 7. Moving the sea into the desert. Iran's most unbelievable water project begins with a simple problem. The country has long coastlines, but many of the people, mines, factories, and dry cities that need water sit far inland. Between them are deserts, mountains, and huge distances. So Iran started building a system that sounds almost impossible. Take water from the sea, remove the salt, and send it deep into the country. The idea is to create an artificial river from the coast. Seawater is pulled from the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman. Desalination plants clean it by removing the salt. Then pumping stations push that fresh water inland through long pipelines, across rough land, toward provinces that cannot survive on rain, wells, and rivers alone. This is one of the boldest engineering ideas in modern Iran. The Sea of Oman project is planned to supply eastern provinces, including Sistan and Baluchistan, South Khorasan, and Razavi Khorasan. At full capacity, it is expected to produce about 660 million gallons of desalinated water per day. But the project also carries a serious warning. Desalination costs a lot of money. It needs large amounts of energy. It leaves behind salty waste that must be handled carefully. Number 6. Persian Gulf Star Refinery, the industrial giant powering Iran. Near Bandar Abbas on Iran's southern coast stands one of the most important industrial sites the country has built under pressure. It is called the Persian Gulf Star Refinery. And it was not built to look pretty. It was built to solve a problem that could squeeze an entire country: fuel. Iran has huge oil and gas resources, but having energy underground is not the same as having gasoline ready for cars, trucks, buses, and machines. For years, refined fuel was one of Iran's weak points. Sanctions made imports harder and foreign help riskier. So Iran pushed forward with a giant refinery designed to turn its oil and gas resources into the fuel its people needed every day. The refinery sits near the port city of Bandar Abbas, close to the Persian Gulf. From the air, it looks like a huge metal maze. Towers, pipes, tanks, control buildings, roads, and flames burning from tall stacks. It covers around 1,730 acres, an area so large it could swallow many city neighborhoods. The plant was designed to process about 360,000 barrels of gas condensate each day. Gas condensate is a light liquid that comes out with natural gas. Instead of selling it raw or letting it stay trapped in the energy chain, Iran built a machine that could turn it into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other useful products. That changed the country's fuel story. Each major phase of the refinery was designed to add millions of gallons of gasoline per day. It now produces about 12 million gallons of gasoline a day. Number 5. Chabahar Port, Iran's ocean gateway. On Iran's southeastern coast, far from the crowded ports of the Persian Gulf, Chabahar looks out toward the Gulf of Oman and the open ocean. That location makes it so important. Ships reaching Chabahar do not have to sail deep into the Persian Gulf. They can arrive from the wider Indian Ocean and connect Iran to trade routes stretching toward India, Afghanistan, and Central Asia. The main focus is Shahid Beheshti Terminal, where ships, cranes, container yards, cargo areas, warehouses, and trucks turn the coastline into a working trade gateway. It's a non-stop cycle of ships arriving, containers being unloaded, and goods moving inland across the country. The port's first major development phase raised its capacity to more than 10 million US tons per year. Long-term plans have aimed much higher, turning Chabahar into a major hub for regional trade. That scale matters because Iran does not want this port to serve only its own coastline. It wants Chabahar to become a doorway for countries that need access to the sea. India's role makes the story even bigger. In May 2024, India signed a 10-year contract to equip and operate the general cargo and container terminal at Shahid Beheshti. For India, Chabahar offers a route into Iran, Afghanistan, and Central Asia without depending on Pakistan. Afghanistan gives the port an even sharper purpose. As a landlocked country, it has no coastline of its own. Its trade can be trapped by border problems, political tension, and closed routes. Chabahar gives Afghan goods another path to the sea. Food, fuel, machinery, medicine, and business cargo can move through a port that sits outside the usual choke points. But Chabahar has never been an easy project. Sanctions have slowed investment, made foreign companies cautious, and delayed the kind of expansion Iran wants. Number 4. Milad Tower, the giant needle above Tehran. Tehran already feels enormous. The city spreads beneath the Alborz Mountains with highways, apartment blocks, office towers, crowded streets, and endless movement in every direction. But above all of it rises one structure that is impossible to miss. Milad Tower stands like a giant needle over the capital, reaching about 1,427 feet into the sky. It is the tallest tower in Iran and one of the tallest telecommunication towers in the world. But Milad Tower is not a normal skyscraper filled with offices from bottom to top. Most of its height is a concrete shaft and antenna mast, built to carry signals across the city. Its upper section is where the tower becomes something the public can enter, climb, and experience. The project began in the late 1990s and opened to the public in 2008. It was designed by Iranian architect Mohammad Reza Hafezi and became one of the clearest modern symbols of Tehran. From the base, the tower looks almost unreal because the main shaft rises so cleanly before widening into a huge head structure near the top. Inside are elevators, observation spaces, restaurants, exhibition areas, conference halls, and public attractions. The tower is part of a larger complex built for trade, culture, events, and tourism, not just broadcasting. Milad Tower has one of its most famous features near the top, a revolving restaurant. While people eat, the view slowly changes around them, turning the whole city into a moving backdrop. The tower's observation decks sit hundreds of feet above the ground, high enough for visitors to see Tehran in a way street level never allows. Number 3. Iran's car industry. Car factories are probably the last thing you think of when Iran comes to mind. Most people picture oil, politics, sanctions, and crisis. But behind that image is one of the largest industrial machines in the Middle East, a car industry that has kept producing at a scale many people outside Iran never see coming. In 2024, Iran built more than 1 million vehicles. That is a country still turning out cars, trucks, vans, buses, engines, and parts, while dealing with years of pressure on money, imports, technology, and foreign partnerships. At the center of that story is Iran Khodro, known as IKCO. The company began in 1962 as Iran National, and over time it became the biggest name in Iran's car industry. Its factories did not only assemble simple vehicles, they helped build the everyday car culture of the country, from family sedans to commercial vehicles, moving people and goods through crowded cities and long desert roads. For many Iranians, one model became the symbol of that push, the Samand. It was promoted as Iran's national car, a vehicle carrying an Iranian badge at a time when the country wanted more control over its own industry. The Samand was not just sold at home. It reached other markets and assembly lines, including places like Azerbaijan, Belarus, Syria, Senegal, and Venezuela. Then came other local names. The Dana and Dana Plus gave Iran Khodro a more modern family car image. The Runa added another locally developed model. The newer Rira moved the company toward the crossover market, the kind of taller city car buyers around the world now want. Iran Khodro has also shown electric versions of some models, proving that even under sanctions, the company is trying to enter the next stage of the car business. Sanctions can block parts, tools, payments, software, and outside partners. In car manufacturing, one missing part can slow an entire factory. Iran's answer was to build more at home, depend more on local suppliers, and keep the lines moving even when foreign doors closed. The result is not a perfect industry. Iranian drivers have complained for years about prices, quality, and old designs. Number 2. Iran's dam network and Karkheh Dam, holding back a thirsty country. Iran's fight with water is written into its land. Much of the country is dry or semi-dry, and the rain does not fall where everyone needs it. Some areas get water from mountains and rivers. Others stretch across hot, thirsty ground where farms, cities, and factories can never depend on nature alone. That is why Iran became obsessed with dams. It did not build them only as giant walls of concrete and earth. It built them to trap rivers before they vanished downstream, store water for dry seasons, protect towns from floods, turn flowing water into power, and keep farmland alive when the sky refused to help. Across the country, Iran has built hundreds of dams, from huge storage projects to smaller water control structures. The clearest symbol of that fight is the Karkheh Dam in Khuzestan province. It stands on the Karkheh River near Andameshk, and it is one of Iran's largest dam projects. Construction began in the 1990s, and the dam opened in the early 2000s. From a distance, it looks like a huge earthen wall stretched across the land. Up close, the size becomes harder to believe. Karkheh rises about 417 feet from its foundation and runs almost 2 miles across the crest. Behind it sits a reservoir designed to hold about 1.6 trillion gallons of water. Its power station has 3 large units, with a total capacity of about 520 megawatts. That water can help farms downstream, reduce flood danger, and generate electricity when the reservoir is healthy. But Karkheh also shows the darker side of Iran's water story. A dam this huge looks like control, but control only works when enough water arrives. Years of drought, heavy water use, weak planning, and pressure from farms and cities have pushed Iran into a serious water crisis. In late 2025, power generation at Karkheh was halted after the reservoir dropped too low for normal operation. Number 1. Maryam-e Moghaddas Station, the Virgin Mary, stop beneath Tehran. Beneath the streets of Tehran, on Line 6 of the metro, Iran opened a station that almost nobody expected to see in the Islamic Republic. Its name is Maryam-e Moghaddas, meaning Holy Mary, and it is dedicated to Mary, the mother of Jesus. The surprise starts before anyone even reaches the platform. This is not a hidden chapel. It is a working metro station, built for daily commuters, trains, ticket gates, escalators, and crowds moving through the city. But the moment people walk inside, the space feels nothing like a normal subway stop. The station sits near St. Sarkis Cathedral, one of Tehran's main Armenian churches. Tehran has an Armenian Christian community with deep roots in the city, and this station was built close to one of its most important religious landmarks. The halls are bright and clean, with white arches, high curved spaces, and decorative details that feel closer to a church interior than a train station. Christian-themed artwork appears across the station, with images and reliefs connected to Mary, Jesus, and Armenian Christian heritage. Instead of hiding that identity, the design places it right where thousands of passengers can pass by it every day. That is what made the station spread so quickly online. People saw photos of Christian art inside a metro station in Tehran and had to look twice. It challenged the simple picture many outsiders have of Iran. A Muslim-majority country had built a public transport station, honoring one of the most loved figures in Christianity. But the story is not as strange as it first sounds. Mary is central to Christianity, but she is also deeply respected in Islam. She is the only woman named directly in the Quran, and her story is treated with honor. That shared respect gives the station a meaning that goes beyond decoration. Thanks for watching. Now check out the videos popping up on screen for more unbelievable stories.